When that storm comes, don't run for cover. When that storm comes, don't run for cover. When that storm comes, don't run for cover. Don't run from the coming storm. No, there ain't no use in running when that rain falls. Let 'em wash away when that rain falls. Let 'em wash away when that rain falls. Let 'em wash away, let it wash away that falling rain, the tears and the trouble. When those lights flash, you hear that thunder roar. When those lights flash, you hear that thunder roar. When those lights flash, you hear that thunder roar. Will you listen to that thunder roar and let your spirit soar? Your spirit soar. Love calls. Will you open up your door when that love calls? Will you open up your door when that love calls? Will you open up your door? You gotta stand on up and let it in. You gotta let love through your door when that storm comes.
The storm coming, yeah.
Don't run for cover when that storm comes. Don't run for cover when that storm comes.
The storm coming, yeah.
Don't run for cover, no. Don't run from the coming storm, 'cause you can't keep a storm from coming, no. You can't keep a storm from coming,
No, no.
you can't keep a storm from coming. You can't keep a storm from coming.
No, no.
You can't keep a storm from coming. 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 Coming, coming, coming.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Mountain Vista Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Samra, Practice Associate, and alongside Reverend Linda Logan, Robin Bousel, and Hannah Coy. Where is Hannah? Right there. Sorry, Hannah Coy. We're hosting today's service on bursting into joy and intentionally releasing what holds us back. We start off in gratitude to the many hands offered that help run our congregation and put services together. Our settled minister and staff are off until January 2nd for a very well-deserved rest. And so now Chris, our music director, isn't here today, so we've curated some videos that go along with today's service, and you'll be hearing about some of them as we go along. As you use, a core part of our identity is actually the lay-led services, where we treat worship as a creative act. We have many volunteers who help put things together on Sundays as well as weekday events, and so if you're curious in learning more about being part of the creative process, please talk to myself or Robin afterwards as well. Our services are enhanced when we bring in different voices and perspectives and when we grow our spirituality through art. One of the areas we'll be talking about today is anger. Now, anger gets a bad rap. We tend to think of the destructive behaviors that sometimes go along with anger. And yet, like every emotion, it serves a purpose. Anger can show us that something matters or indicates a need for action or protection. Anger can be used constructively in order to move us towards our goals. While uncontrolled anger and rage can be chaotic, without anger, we end up with passivity and acceptance of things that hurt us in our communities. And so when the storm comes, keep on going. And I invite you to lean in today as we explore how we can burst through what holds us back and move towards joy. Thank you.
Good morning. Did you rise this morning broken and hungover? With weariness and pain and rage, tattered from waving too long in a brutal wind? Get up, child. Pull your bones upright, gather your skin, and muscle into a patch of sun. Draw breath deep into your lungs. You will need it, for another day calls to you. I know you ache. I know you wish the work were done, and you, with everyone you have ever loved, were on a distant shore, safe and unafraid. But remember this: tired as you are not alone. Here and here, and here also, there are others weeping and rising and gathering their courage. You belong to them, and they to you. And together, we will break through and bend the arc of justice all the way down into our lives.
Our monthly woven basket partner is dancing in the streets. So as you exit those doors after service, you'll see two baskets. The woven basket is for our partner of the month, Dancing in the Streets, and the wooden basket is for the works of MVU. And so we'll be watching a brief video explaining Dancing in the Streets, the wonderful organization, and how they share dance, not just with their students, but with the broader community.
We use the power of dance to transform lives.
We serve all students from 3 to 103, including children with incarcerated parents and with serious physical or developmental difficulties.
Ballet is a beautiful form of art, but it's also a discipline. Our students learn life skills and break down cultural barriers.
Our students discover they can do more than they ever thought possible, not just during rehearsals, recitals, and shows, but in school, in their families, and in our community.
Our next song is Nada Bailado Pimenta. The song is fully in Spanish, however, I'm going to explain a few of the lyrics. The song is about pain. It names emptiness, exhaustion, and the stripping away of illusions. Part of the chorus translated, all that I hope from you and all that I have gifted you, of all that I remembered, I have nothing left. Of the love I gave you, of all that I pursued, of all that I asked, I have nothing left. This song honors the truth of suffering. It doesn't hide it, which in itself is a quiet form of resistance. By naming it, we can sometimes move through it. And so enjoy.
Todo lo que presentía no presente, el dolor lo tengo presente, el dolor lo tengo presente, el dolor.
I'd like you to take a deep breath and just notice where you are in your bodies. As we go through the service, I'd like you to notice the emotions that come up: grief, anger, boredom, anything that comes up, honor it and give it space. We're going to go through a couple readings today, and both people that we chose are people that talk about emotions. One, Jalaluddin Rumi, many of you might be familiar with, talks about it from an ancient way, and Nikita Gill from a very modern way. The first reading, The Guest House, by Jalaluddin Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Reading by Nikita Gill. The rage you are feeling comes from the same place inside your heart as the love. This is why you refuse to accept a world where cruelty reigns, and the fire consumes all. You have known hope and joy and kindness like you have known water, and justice is a river that demands you do not give up on it. Thank you.
Good morning. For everything, there is a season, good times and bad times, planting and reaping, joys and sorrows. We recognize this each week through our ritual of joys and sorrows. This water, collected from Sonoran skies, our homes, and our lives' journey, this is our congregation. We drop stones into the water as we share joys and sorrows, reflections of these seasons of our lives. We invite our congregation to respond with celebration and comfort. We have something from Ann Bowling today. My son-in-law Jesse is scheduled for surgery on Monday. My mother-in-law, Neri Bowling, is in the hospital and will be in surgery as soon as possible. Lisa and I are grateful for all the love and healing that may be sent our way. We send our best to Anne. We add a handful of stones for the sorrows unnamed, but still present among us, and another handful for the joys, is a reminder of the seasons held among us but not spoken aloud. Our Pastoral Care Committee invites you to contact us. We want to hear your joy or sorrow, and with your permission, we'll share it on Sundays during our ritual. May we feel the rhythm of these seasons and respond to the need among us. May it be so.
Use this. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Hi. My name is Hannah Coy. Some of you know me. I used to be a member of this church. I am currently a friend of this church. And the reason that I'm here today is because the the final form of this ritual came out of a conversation that Robin and I had, and I want to share some of that conversation with you, some of the background here. So I have my own form of practice. I am what I like to call an atheopagan. I like how in your face that is, I guess. And I sometimes joke about, well, it's like, you know how people hate pagans and you know how people hate atheists. It's like, you know, both of those combined together. Awesome. No, but what it means is that when I do ritual, it's very syncretic and it's very, I'm inventing a lot of things as I go. I'm not relying on an existing body except for just knowing things about these are the elements of a ritual, and then trying to put them together for myself and for the people I'm in community with to have meaning. Well, last year, you guys remember last year, right? That was a whole year ago. Yeah, that was fun. There was some campaigning. I wonder how that all turned out. Anyway, I had the opportunity to be at a spiritual retreat in Colorado for atheopagans. I had an opportunity to do a ritual that was a combination of a personal ritual and a public ritual that was about this idea, bursting into joy from a place of anger and from a place of pain. My father died in 2022, and my father was a wonderful person. He was also a hoarder, and that was very difficult, and it remains very difficult. I'm still dealing with all of his stuff. He didn't call himself a hoarder, he called himself a collector, and he did have very many nice collections, including glass bottles. He loved to collect glass bottles, and so as I was going through the inventory of his stuff, I found a lot of things, many things, and I'm sure you have all had this experience where you're going through something that your ancestors owned and maybe had pride in, and you're like, okay, I'm uncomfortable with this, right? You know, because it's a racist caricature or it's an expression of something that just doesn't seem to exist in your world anymore, what have you. Well, in this case, the thing I found of my dad's was a bottle that had Robert E. Lee on one side and Jefferson Davis on the other, and it was a glass bottle commemorating the Confederacy. Now, my dad was not the kind of person who liked the Confederacy. He was the kind of person who liked bottles. And so I understood that owning this object didn't come out of a place of identifying with the Confederacy, but it made me uncomfortable to own this bottle. It made my brother uncomfortable to own it. And I don't know if you recall last year, maybe a little bit this year too, things were getting contentious, right? People were voicing racist thoughts that I personally was hoping were not going to be part of our public discourse anymore. And so I didn't want to just sell this bottle or give it to somebody who liked to own things, you know, repping the Confederacy. So we decided that smashing the bottle would be the best thing. But it needed to go out in a special way. It couldn't just get smashed because, first of all, it was a beautiful bottle. And second of all, even though I am not my dad, I inherited, along with his stuff, a certain sense of I have to deal well with this stuff. And that's, I gotta be honest, I need to get over that. But in the case of this bottle, it created an opportunity to do some community ritual. And this is what we did in August. So being a woman, a white woman born in the South, you know, I don't love that. I don't love the history of the South or what it means to white people in particular. I don't like that people rep the Confederacy as a part of having a Southern white identity. I happen to think that is a word that I guess I shouldn't use in church, but it is very much that. And, well, There are other stories, though. You know, the story of America is not just one story. The story of the South is not just one story. The story of being white in America is not just one story. So I had the opportunity to find some other stories that involved white Southern identity. And I came up with a list of names of people who were so much better than Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis that it was almost an insult to have them in the same ritual, but nevertheless. I wrote a list of names. One of them, the one I will specifically bring up, was a guy named John Lee, who was born in Kentucky and founded a college, Berea College, I believe. He was a neighbor of one of my, not direct ancestors, but one of the ancestors who shares my name. And the ancestor who shares my name was a slaveholder, and I know that he had put in a, what do you call this? When enslaved people escaped during the Civil War and joined the Union Army, Lincoln, for at least a period of time, if you were a slaveholder and you were from a Union state like Kentucky, you were offered compensation. And this ancestor of mine filled out a compensation form for a man named James Coy, who escaped from him. And the odds are very good that John Lee helped him to escape, because that's what John Lee did. And so John Lee was on my list there. And there were a bunch of other people, stories like his, people who were brave, people who looked at what their friends and family and neighbor and authority figures were doing and were willing to say, wait a minute, that's wrong, that's not what I believe in, and we're willing to do something about that. Anyway, I wrote that on a list. I rolled it up and I shoved it in that bottle. There was no way to get it out except for breaking the bottle. So, we had the bottle. I had it laid out on the ground. We were doing this ritual outside. I had one of my grandmother's quilts to wrap it up in, because I didn't want, when we smashed it, I didn't want shards of glass to go flying around, because the Confederacy sucks, but also getting hit with shards of flying glass also sucks. And I'm not going to debate which thing is worse at a particular time, because, yeah, they're hard to compare. Anyway, so I had this wrapped up in an artifact made by the loving hands of one of my ancestors. We sang a couple of songs. I have an uncle who's a songwriter, and he has a song called I Love America Too, and I sang a verse from that. A friend of mine piped in with a penny whistle and played Rally Round the Flag, which I don't know if you guys know that, but it is a Civil War tune, right? It's one of the Union's songs. And so we played those, and then I got a great big rock like this. And I stood there with all of the weight of generations behind me. And I dropped that rock on that bottle, and it made the most wonderful, the most satisfying sound you could ever imagine. And then I invited other people to come up, and they picked up that big old rock, and they dropped it some more on the faces of Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis. We did that one after another, and the expressions on people's faces varied from intense determination to a quiet release. But what I could see on everyone was the satisfaction of picking up this big rock. Now, of course, you know, we're just doing a ritual. It's all symbolic, right? We don't have the power within us in one moment, in one act, to do anything to harm Robert E. Lee or Jefferson Davis. But we have the power to repudiate what they stand for. And we have the power to clear away these things that the generations of the past have kept in front of us because they didn't want to deal with them. That was my dad's deal. You know, he had anxiety about making choices, right, about his items. I had to do something for him that he couldn't have done for himself. And when we clear away the things that are holding us back today, That is what we're doing. We're not only doing it for ourselves, we are doing it for our ancestors. How many ancestors do you have that you know of? You might not know. I mean, most of us don't know that much about our ancestors. I'm actually quite privileged. I know about my ancestors because that is something that my father was interested in, and he made sure that we had all of these family stories and that we knew where we could find out more. How many ancestors do you have who, in all of the tides of American history or wherever else they may be from, right, said in their lives, I am not going to put up with this ridiculous nonsense that the people around me are doing. You know, I'm not gonna go along with this, and have chosen to defy in small ways and in large. Those ancestors are behind you, and those ancestors can be with you at every moment. And what we're going to do today in a ritual, we're going to do something similar. I don't have a beautiful bottle for you to smash. Oh, by the way, yeah, the other part of that ritual was, so we pulled out the message that was in the bottle, put it on a bulletin board so people could look up those folks if they wanted. But then people were invited to take a piece of the glass, this beautiful green glass that this bottle left behind, and either put it on their altars for their practice or whatever else they might do. This is a very creative bunch, so I could imagine people, making some jewelry out of it or something. And I myself have a jagged piece of that glass, which I need to turn into something. But I took the rest of it and I put it in the Tucson glass recycling system. And so now it is my hope that instead of repping the Confederacy, which nobody needs, maybe we can repair some of our potholes with that glass. You know, what a wonderful world that would be, right? Right? Clearing away things from the past to make room for things and people and ideas of the future. And so today we're going to smash stuff. Yeah, we're going to smash things because it feels good to smash things. It feels good to do things with your body. It feels good to let your anger speak in creative ways and to let it come out. Because if you don't let those emotions come out, it's like my dad with his hoard, They're just back there cluttering, getting in the way of all the good stuff. And so we're going to give you an opportunity to let that out. We have a piñata. Because we live in Tucson, the land of piñatas. It's a beautiful thing. On the outside of that piñata, you can see that people have put some things that they might like to smash. We have perfection. We have genocide. We have fragility. Ice is up there. There's all kinds of great stuff. I mean, this is, you guys know, all of you, right? You have anger inside of you. I know it. I can feel it. I've got it too. Let's bring out that anger in a joyous way today. So, inside that piñata, we have some alternatives to what we find on the outside. So what we're going to do today is we are going to let everybody have a whack at the piñata, everyone who wants to. We're going to see what's inside of that thing. And we are going to take the pieces of the piñata, some of us are going to take them home, we're going to burn them, and we are going to bring the ashes back here to MVU to dispose of them in some spiritually meaningful way that means that we're not just discarding this, we are keeping it with us in some form or another. Any questions? That's a great question. We are going to smash the piñata outside. Yes. All right. I think that's it.
Well, I guess I'm up. Hi, remember me? I might look familiar if you squint. My name is Robin Bousel. Uh-oh, did I lose the mic? Am I too close to the other mic? I'm making Tom work for it. I'll wait. I'll sing. Mike? Yes. Hello? Mike? No? Yes? No? Should I go to this one? Pivot? Oh, there we are. Hi. That works. Hi, everybody. So this year, I have learned the power of positive thinking. Now, before you go, oh, God, positive thinking. I'm not a Pollyanna. I'm an alchemist. How dare you? That's mine. Thank you, Lee. You're amazing. Lee's amazing, isn't Lee amazing? Yeah. I'm an alchemist. What the heck is that? I decided this year that I was no longer going to push away what was negative, but instead I was going to embrace what was negative and turn it into light. Now, a few years ago, before I got together with my partner, he sent me a song, and the song was called Lovers in a Dangerous Time. And he sent me actually the Bare Naked Ladies cover. I forget who actually originally did that song. It wasn't them. Who was it? Jackson Brown, maybe? I don't know. Harvey, fact check me later when you're putting this up online. Oh. If you want to. I can? Oh, I can. Look, I'm mobile. It's amazing. Come on, Tom. All right, let's get real. So he sent me this song, and this song taught me two things. One, that he was in love with me, and he didn't know it yet. And two, this very potent lyric that we must kick at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. And that has stayed with me for years and has ruminated over and over. And this year, I finally got it. So I'm going to share two quick stories with you that happened very recently, just a couple weeks ago. Now, you're going to think I'm crazy at the beginning of this story, so just buckle up. Because by the end of the story, I heard that. Because by the end of the story, you might have a different opinion. So I'm driving down the road, like you do, minding my own business, watching around me, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes this car who clearly does not see me, because she is trying to occupy the space that I am currently in. And as you all know about driving, that's a no-no. Only one car in the same spot at a time. So I swerve into the turning lane to avoid getting hit. She just zooms right on past, cuts off the other car on the other side. And when I tell you I do not know what possessed me in that moment, I mean it. I chased this woman down. I know. And I'm like, what am I thinking? And I'm just like, I'm going to get you. And in my mind, it's this fancy Jeep. And I'm like, it's some college kid with their parents' money. And they're just driving me off the road and they don't care. And who do they think they are? And I'm getting angrier and angrier. And I'm zooming around cars and I'm following this person. And I follow them into their development. I know. You're like, Robin, you're insane. I followed her down the street to her home, where she then pulled into a driveway and got out of the car. I roll down my window and I go, "Excuse me, ma'am?" And in that moment, she's like, "Huh?" Had no idea I was there. Not one idea. And she's like terrified because, of course, some random person is screaming at her from the street in the car. No clue what just happened. And I said, "Are you aware of the fact that you almost just ran me off the road?" And immediately her eyes got so wide and tears streaming out of her face. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she starts to walk towards the car, and then she kind of takes a step back because, she doesn't know me. When I'm a crazy person, I just chased her down. I'm insane, right? And then I reach my hand to her, and she comes towards the car. And I said, "You almost just hit me, like hard." And I swerved into another lane. I almost hit somebody else. That could have been a major accident. Weeping. "I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. I truly didn't see you. I'm so sorry. I had no idea." And the panic, I could see it all over. I could feel it. I'm feeling it now. That panic that she felt. And in that moment, I could tell there was a reason that I, like an insane person, followed her. It was not to get out of my car and give her a piece of my mind. It was not to physically have an altercation. I've never hit anyone in my life, except for my brother in the car when we were kids, but that doesn't count. Road trips are difficult when you're 10. Anyway, in that moment, I knew that I was there to share with this woman some light. And I said to her, "Listen, come here. I took her hand. She's crying, she's sobbing. And I was like, I don't even know how this happened, but the universe clearly brought us together so that I could share some love with you today. Whatever happened, And she's like, I'm going through so much. It's been so horrible. It's been such a difficult time. And I'm like, it's okay. I understand. Whatever it is, it's going to be okay. I know it doesn't feel that way, but I promise you it will. And I know that for a fact because I'm here. Why else would I be here? And all that anger that drove me there and all that like gusto and fire and what the heck am I going to do when I get out of this car? Gone. Filled instead with compassion for another human who almost just killed me. Like, what? And I was so overwhelmed by it that I did the only thing I could think of, which was to call Linda Logan and tell her this crazy story. And we talked about this, and we talked about how that force, that anger, that rage, that frustration got me somewhere that I needed to be. And when I got there, I took that darkness and I said, get out of here. Stop it. And the light broke out of it. And it was absolutely magic. My day was better. Her day was better. Wherever she is, I hope whatever happened to her is better. At some point it will be. And then just the other day, another anger moment. I'm driving down the street. People are crazy in Tucson. I don't know what's the matter with everybody in this town. Of course, not you. You're all wonderful drivers, I'm sure. It's just everybody else in Tucson who's a terrible driver. Not the people watching. Not you either. Everybody else. So I'm driving. I see this person who wants to come into the lane. Like a polite person, I wait. I give them a, come on. They're on their phone, hanging out. And I'm like, hello, flashing, honking, come on, come on. Nothing. So I'm like, well, I need to get gas anyway. Let me pull in the gas station. Then I notice they're right in the middle of the drive. And I'm like, well, I can't get in there. There's no way I can get in there. I need to get their attention so they can see that I'm trying to get in there, but they won't get off their phone and they won't look at me. Forget it. I'm just gonna go. And I'm angry. I'm fired up. Why? I don't know. So unnecessarily angry. So I drive down the street. I go around the corner. I come in the other entrance. That car's doing what it's doing. I don't care. Get out of my car, and I'm all angry and fired up. And then out of my peripheral, I see a man with a dog. And I just hear him say, well, that was unexpected. Didn't know that was a premonition. And I don't know what possessed me in that moment either, but all of a sudden I felt this physical pull, like something just grabbed me by the heart and went, get over there. And I just ripped my neck off. That's how dramatic that was. It's fine. Don't worry. It's live theater. Okay. So I see this man. I follow this man. He goes up to the trash can in front of the door at the Circle K, and he's leaning on it like this. And so I come up very quietly, very gently. I'm like, excuse me, sir. You don't know me. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to help you. Can I do something for you? And he turns to me, weeping. And I'm like, why do I make everybody I meet cry all of a sudden? What is going on? And so he's weeping, and he's like, I just had this insane experience. You know, I'm standing on the street with my sign. I'm not asking for money. It just says smile. I'm just trying to get people to smile. And this car pulls up, and this little girl, who he described as a little crippled girl, gave him $2, and he said it broke him. He's like, for that child to have that level of compassion in her condition, I just wasn't expecting it. And he's crying, and I'm standing there with him, and I'm just like honoring that moment with him, and I was like, man, I felt it. I felt that. Whatever that little girl gave to you, it stayed with you. And it came this way, and it hit me, and now I'm in it. And we're making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And we talked, we went inside. I was like, let me buy you a sandwich. Let me get you something. He said, no. And I'm like, yes, get in here. Got him a sandwich, got him a soda. We're chatting about life. I tell him my cancer story. He tells me about how he just retired at 65, but then someone whose name is not coming out of my mouth today because he doesn't deserve it, raised that age up to 67. And so now he's stuck in this middle ground, just trying to get by. And I said, I get it. I've been fighting with the government for funding and support. It's a tough racket. I feel you. I get it. I'm just paying for his food. I pull out $20 out of my account because I happen to have it at the moment. He gave it to the man. He's like, no. I'm like, yes, please take this. And he tells me about creosote tea. And he's like, I don't know. I have some friends who use that for cancer. Maybe that'll help you in some way. I just have to be able to give you something. And I was like, oh, that's great. That's cool. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I'm going to go look into that. I haven't yet, but I will. Reminder. Siri, remind me to look into creosote tea. I thanked him, told him I had to get on my way, and as I'm walking away, he said, you're a really special person. And instead of turning around and being like, oh no, stop, I said, so are you. And no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what your conditions are, you need to remember that. And we hugged, we said goodbye, and then of course I did the only thing that a rational person would do. I called Linda Logan. And I told her all about it. Right, Linda? And as we discussed these events, we really, really connected on this alchemy concept, this using the momentum of our anger, our frustration, our rage for something good. And it's not squashing down those painful feelings. It's not, oh, I'm fine, I'm not angry, everything's okay. It's, I am so angry. And I'm going to use that and turn it into light so that I can be so joyous and so full of light that everyone and everything I come around can't help but be filled with it, and hopefully takes it with them too. So I'm not a Pollyanna, but I am an alchemist. And today, we're going to do some alchemy together. Thank you.
Let's give her a hand. Well, the main thing I got out of the story is that Robin makes people cry a lot. Everywhere she goes, they're crying. This whole alchemy thing, Robin and I have spent a lot of time in this past year talking about things and dealing with her cancer and going through things. And the one thing that we learned was that alchemy was the biggest thing in the world, that we are able to change anything that we decide we want to change. Anything in our lives, once we give it the attention, we can do that. When she called me with the story of following the woman home, I was filled with terror, and then I said, well, I guess she's okay because she's calling me on the phone, so the woman didn't kill her. But the thing that was so important was the fact that she had followed this mind that said, follow her home. But she thought it was the rage. It wasn't the rage. There was a love and a joy in her that needed to be expressed. And she didn't know that, but we don't know that. Because, see, we are nothing but joy. This is who we truly are, is joy. But this world has made it so that we are ashamed to be joyous. We feel like it's not the right thing because the world should be sad. Everything is supposed to be sad. And we have to earn our way into heaven through going through all these trials and tribulations. It's not true. You see, what we're doing is dealing with lies that have been told to us. We've been told all these lies about what life is supposed to be and how it's supposed to be, and that we're not supposed to be loving, we should be tough, we should be this, we should be that, we should be all these things. No more. We're not dealing with this anymore. What we're going to do is begin to accept who we are at the moment. When we were growing up, my mother did not allow us to be angry. I am surprised that maybe we are, that we're not all insane at this point. Because to hold back those feelings and to keep them in your body and to allow those chemicals that they are to begin to circulate and to begin to cause the cancer in our bodies or cause whatever it is they cause in our bodies, what they cause with our interactions with other people out there because of all of this stuff we hold inside. And we think it's not coming out, but it's going out. And it's spreading everywhere. And it's touching everyone that we meet. So what we want to do now is get in touch with how we really feel. Every day, check in. How do I feel? How do I feel about life? What's happening to me? Where am I? And pretty soon you'll get to know who you really are. We've never been allowed to know that. Who are you and what do you want? When you're angry, is it okay to express it? Is it okay to be who you are? You know, we're here in this time with transgenders and with all the different things that are going on with people where they're trying to find out who they are and not allowed to do that. So unfair. It's not fair. We need to find a way to love every part, not of them necessarily, but of ourselves. A friend of mine, Michael, and I talk constantly, like Robin and I do. And what we talk about is Love 101. And that's self-love. That is the only love that needs to happen, because once you do that, once you have love for who you are and what you are, whatever that is. You know, I had to grow into loving. No, I didn't have to grow into it. I had to finally admit that I love being black. You know, and for all your life, you're sort of taught, you know, that it's sort of a thing to be ashamed of. You should be ashamed of your hair. Aren't you ashamed of your hair? I'm supposed to be ashamed of what grows out of my head? Give me a break. And suddenly I decided I love my hair, and I just let it be what it was. I get all kinds of compliments about it. Oh, you got a lot. You know, but what they're saying is you're being very courageous, being willing to be yourself. What a crazy world we live in. You know, we're taught that going to the dark side, which people consider anger to be. But do you understand that nothing grows out of the sun? That only things grow out of the earth? That everything grows out of the dark? That everything in that time needs that time to be in the dark in order to become what it needs to become. And then it greets the light and becomes the light. How did we ever get taught that there was something fearful about the dark? It's the most peaceful, wonderful time that there is, to be there sort of enveloped in the dark, sort of embraced by the dark. There's something about it that comes and makes you feel good. Don't you know that in prisons what they do to people to torture them is to keep the lights on all the time? To force them to always be in the light with no time to rest in the peace of the dark? Think about what that's like. Think about what it's like to have no time for peace, no time to rest, no time to just find solace, no time to sleep. Whenever it's in the dark, when you go to sleep, you know, do you realize that you don't know you've been asleep until you wake up? How much it takes you and takes care of you and shelters you. Let's start telling ourselves the truth about this life. That the light has its place. The dark has its place. Anger has its place. Joy has its place. Everything has a time to be in your life, and we need to begin to allow our lives to expand and become whole and complete, and to hold everything that's here for us, to begin to hold this space, to begin to love ourselves in every way we can, to look at ourselves and finally see those things that we thought were horrible and ugly and all of those things, and realize they're what make you unique and wonderful. Love your uniqueness. Love who you are. Love the dark times and the light times and the times that you're sick and you don't feel good. Isn't it wonderful after you've been sick to feel well again? But if you didn't have that comparison, how would you know? So you begin to embrace your life You embrace it totally and completely. You embrace those times when people were not very nice to you, and you say, what did I learn about that? Did I love myself then or not? And it really is all about, do you love you? Because the only way you will attract love is through the love that you have for yourself. You see, we only get what we project out. So if you're wondering if you've been hiding from life, if you've been hiding your emotions, look and see what's going on in your life, and you'll see exactly what you've been doing. You see, this thing only shows you everything that's truly in you. You can tell people all the wonderful things you want, all the wonderful metaphysical things about how sweet you are and how loving you are, and that you don't have any hatred for anyone. Oh, give me I can't say the word I want to say, but you know what I'm saying. But the thing is, I want you to start to be honest. Oh my God, do you know how hard that's going to be? Because we've been taught to lie. To each other and to ourselves. I want 2026. Is that what we're getting ready to go into? It's just all going so fast. To be a year of truth. Yes. Self-honesty. You see, when Robin started off driving down that road, she was gonna get this person. They had frightened her. They had threatened her life. They had made her feel like she was not safe. And she was gonna get her for that. But when she got there, she realized that this was a person just like her. Had things on her mind. Things were difficult for her at this point in time. And all of a sudden, she recognized the one principle that we all need to begin to understand, that we are one, and that what you're feeling, I am feeling. The fears you have, I have. The happinesses you have, I have. And we are one. And so when I see you, I have to look at you and know, there I am. How do I want to be treated? What kind of love do I want coming back to me? And soon, everything will change. Because once we come into the oneness, once we come into that point where there is no separation from one another, when we understand that, do you know what this world is going to be like? It'll be the total opposite of what they want for us right now. Because what they want is for us to feel separated, to feel not to be there for each other, not to support one another in whatever way we can, not to be able to go and say, here's $20 that I want to give you. I want you to have this. Because you are me and I am you. And this is what I want to have happen. Joy is the base of who you are. I want you to very quietly just close your eyes, and I want you to go within you, and I want you to feel in every cell of your body that is just bursting with joy. And I want you to feel it coming from the bottoms of your feet. And you can feel the joy moving up and through and being there for you. And it's going into every cell. It's going into every tendon. It's going into every artery. It's going in everywhere. It's doing everything that it knows how to do in order to be there for you. It wants to buoy you up. It wants you to burst with joy. It wants you to just feel the joy that is always there, that you keep from having in your life. Do you know what you've been doing by fighting the joy, what you've done to your body, to the world? Release your joy. Release it right now. Feel it just bursting up and wanting to be out there and wanting to be shared with everyone. You just want to feel it everywhere. Don't you feel it in your heart right now? I see it. I see people doing it. I can see it on your faces. Even if you might be trying to hide it, you're still one of those ones who don't want to show you. I see you over here, George. And the thing is, I want you to know that no matter what, your face is showing the joy that is within you. You're going to take it out of here today. And you're going to make it the way of life. Because once you have felt this, you can't fight it anymore. It's all done. It's all done. Every one of you in here can go forth, and no matter where you go, people are going to feel this coming from you because we emanate. We emanate who we are. Now, you can't fool joy. If you're not really feeling it, it's not going to be able to do it. So I want you to allow it to come up and be there. You know what Robin did was to take something that was false and turn it into something solid and beautiful, and present it to this person. I want you to begin to understand that you have the ability to turn any situation into something lovely and wonderful. If you've been sick, what did you learn about yourself through this illness? Did you love yourself through it? Did you care about yourself? Did you put yourself down because you were sick? No. Have you held on to all of this pain and allowed it to become a part of your being? Have you turned it into cancer? Have you turned it into something that you no longer want? You can let it go. We know that now. Make your decision today before you leave this room. You are going to change your life. And you're not really changing your life, you're simply going into the authentic life. You know, they talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and all that it's doing is showing you the authentic intelligence that is within each and every one of us. Are you ready to be authentically who you are? You are loving, you are intelligent, you are caring, you are all the things that are in you. Let them out. Can you feel that? I mean, we're just like, can you feel it sort of just like trying to bubble up and get out of you? Because this is, I've been trapped in here too long. I don't like it in here. I want to be out. I love Robin because she always serves as an example of what's going on in the world. For me, we talk, as I said, a lot. I want you to be the example to the world of what you're able to do. We've been taught that we are weak, nothing, sinners, whatever that means, instead of the strong, powerful, loving beings that we are, no matter what form you have taken in this world. When you leave here today, I want you to love yourself so much that everywhere you go, people will look at you and not know what they're seeing, but they're seeing the glow of Love 101. Let it happen. You know, I sat down to write something to speak about yesterday, and every time I would try to do it, I would go to sleep. It wouldn't let me It wouldn't let me write. Every time I would go to the computer and I can't even sit up here. So what I want you to do is to be your authentic selves and allow whatever words, whatever thing that comes that is good and true and loving to come through you to be you. How do you feel? I want to know how you feel. How do you feel? Are you willing to allow yourself to live this new truth? Yes. Are you ready to do that? Because this group in here can change what happens out in the world immediately if we take it out fully. Let's know that this is so. And I guess this thing is saying you don't have anything else to say. So, and so it is. So it is. Is it good?
Our next song is Resilience by Rising Appalachia. They're a folk ensemble led by two sisters, Leah Song and Chloe Smith. Their music is rooted in the South and is deeply tied to activism and social justice. Their work highlights the joy that emerges when communities refuse to be divided.
I am resilient, I trust the movement, I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. 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 These times are poignant, the winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out fronts. Yeah, I got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm made of thunder, I'm made of lightning, I'm made of dirt, yeah, made of the fine things. My father taught me that I'm a speck of dust and this world was made for me. So let's go and try our luck, say I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I've got my roots down, down, down deep. I've got my roots down, down, down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. Put us all together, make a mighty roar. the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen.
As we transform the future, today's announcements. And so the first one is Anne here for Finding Hearts. All right, I will speak about Finding Hearts. Finding Hearts groups are going on. There will be sign-ups, I believe, at the table outside. If you are curious and want to learn more about them, it is in the newsletter, as well as Anne is a great resource to talk to and ask about. Did I get that? Yes. And then, is it time for you to join MVU? So this January 18th, during our Sunday service, we will welcome new members among us. The best way to find out if it's the time for you to join is to talk with Reverend Matthew. And so some of you who are interested in membership, you have already met with him, and some of you may have appointments already. If you are curious about what that membership at MVU entails, please contact him in the new year. Is it time for you to join? Only you can know. But Reverend Matthew is glad to offer the information you need to decide. And just a reminder, MVU office is closed with all the staff being on their well-deserved rest until January 2nd, 2026. Before we release the flame, we're going to release the flame and then we will go to the postlude, and I'll explain a little bit about that. While we're playing that music, Robin will go upstairs and lower the piñata. During the postlude, you are welcome to come up before dispersing and write down anything that you would like to let go of and put it on the piñata. We will then take it outside and have a go at it. And so. Hello? Woo. As we release the flame, become aware of the hands you are holding. Become aware of your hands, their warmth, their texture, and their weight. As an infant, these same hands reached out for the nourishment of milk. As a child, these hands shakily wrote a name on paper for the first time. These hands have wiped away tears, clenched in anger, waved goodbye and hello countless times, and embraced loved ones. And now, these hands are the tangible link that connects us to one another. Look and see around you who have experienced so much that is life. These hands have worked, are working, and will work to make the world a better place. Go in peace, go in love, work in justice, blessed be.
You're going to see on the screen a picture that I painted maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I call it Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. We've been told to be afraid of the dark, that's where, bad things happen. But it's where every good thing happens. So I painted the picture of the woods and being either okay about entering them or about coming out onto a golden beach that's right there in front of you. I want you to allow life to be what it is. The dark, the light, all of the contrasts that come with living, and embrace that life. And when you do, you will burst with joy.
You're welcome to come up and put your writings on the piñata. This next song is by Serge Tankian, lead singer of System of a Down. Who here is a System of a Down fan? Whoop! Awesome. Both Surge and System of a Down are known for their political activism and work in highlighting political violence, genocide denial with their work around the Armenian genocide, as well as anti-war messaging. They're one of my favorite bands for a variety of reasons, and one of the reasons that resonate with me is that as someone who doesn't really have a close link to my Armenian heritage, they have taught me a lot. My grandparents were Armenian genocide survivors, and so I've learned a lot through them. This song, Amber, sung in Armenian, is a direct response to the political corruption and election denial in Armenia that has caused major divisiveness. Amber means clouds in Armenian, and Serge wrote the song to name the deep social division and as a call for unity. So while the US is not Armenia, many of the larger themes resonate with what's happening right now with our own climate. Enjoy and come up and write down what you need to.
Դաշկինագով ծածկված լեռներ մենք են կարոտ, Տանագահարված երգիր մեր մենք են կարոտ, Դաշինքները աղավաղել մենք են կարող, Դաշնամուր ձերքիս տակ կորել զենք են կրող, Ներդաշնակության մենք են կարոտ
Դաշինքները աղավաղել մենք են կարող Դանագահարված երկիրներ մենք են կարոտ Ներդաշնակության մենք են կարոտ Ներդաշնակության մենք են կարոտ Մենք են կարոտ
Երկնքից փնտրում եմ քո դեմքերին
Բայց չեմ տեսնում ամպերի մեջից Երկնքից փնտրում եմ քո լեռներին Երկնքից փնտրում եմ քո գետերին Երկնքից փնտրում եմ քո դեմքերին Երկնքից փնտրում եմ քո Դաշկինակով ծածկված լեռներ մենք են կարոտ Դաշինքները աղավաղել մենք են կարող